timing of submitting in September and October? Some people make a huge deal of it. Others don't. What do you think? Overrated, underrated?
Wildly overrated. Wildly. There is an advantage to applying sooner rather than later. But by sooner, I mean, I always think of it before January 1st. And that's usually because many schools take off in between Christmas and New Year's and are closed down. So they get back after the New Year and are faced with a week and a half worth of mail. So things just really slow down. And it's an advantage to the applicants to get their answer earlier. But the amount of difference it makes in terms of your outcome is very marginal. And certainly there is no advantage to applying in September, October, as opposed to November or December.
I get so many questions about what is the best time to apply, because a lot of law schools out there operate on a rolling admissions basis, which means at the beginning of the cycle, they have yet to fill any spots in their class. So there's just a lot more room that they have. You know, if you apply later in the cycle, spots have already been taken by people. It can be a little bit harder to get into a school if you're applying at the end of the cycle, if you're applying on a school's deadline. There's definitely an advantage in applying early. Before Thanksgiving is usually what we recommend, but only if your application materials are ready to go.
I think early applications are those that get in before November, before Thanksgiving.
Right.
And then I think between Thanksgiving and January 1 is mid-level and middle of January. And then I think as you start approaching the deadline, it just gets a little tighter, obviously.
Right.
And I think it's just to your benefit to be in those early groups.
There's no advantage to getting your application in September's past, but September or October, really. As long as you have it in by what I tell people the first of the year, there's going to be spaces left when you apply. But I've always said this, no matter what the year is, take any deadline that you see and move it back by a month.
Admissions committees are always looking for something pretty specific at any given point in the cycle. Now, at the beginning of the cycle, let's say September, October, we're just admitting who we think are really great, and people who applied binding early decision, obviously they get a decision sooner. The beginning of the cycle is just great. You know, you're kind of making offers, you're super enthusiastic. Then you start checking data every single day. I hope applicants know this, but the reality is you have to have a well-rounded class that's diverse across a lot of different dimensions, numbers, undergrad, everything. So after that sort of happy month or so of just admitting people that are really shining, then you really have to drill down and be like, okay, well, now we need to balance this out. Now we need to balance that out.
Take a deep breath, submit your best application.